Welcome to another Euro Truck Simulator 2 video, and today is part 2 of SpeltBothwards Inc. But I do want to make a change, and that is removing our realistic economy mod. Now I'm definitely going to talk about this more in a minute, but for now I do have to pretty much recomplete this job because the game didn't save, and also I think it makes sense that if I'm doing this, I should probably redo the job and get the actual stats we should. This time though, there will be no love taps onto anything. There we go, that is the job complete. And here we can see we've actually made a ton of money, and now we have reached level 1 and are now a newbie, which also gives us a skill point to invest. I'll spend my first skill point on toxic and infectious substances. This will actually allow me to, in the future, haul medical vaccines, which pay very great. Now I do want to double check on our services, especially bank and used trucks. The offering for used trucks seems to be the same, but the bank will still not loan us any money, and now we'll go ahead and take the highest paying job again. And with our truck set up, we are ready to start our drive. Now I do want to talk about why I got rid of the realistic economy mod, and my main reason for doing that was because this isn't a game that I'm necessarily going to be playing for a very long time or necessarily a lot. So I don't want to pretend like I'm just going to complete the game, buy a truck, and do all of those things when I still cannot progress fast and am still apparently crashing into light poles. Now there is another change that I would like to make to my settings, and I think this is one of the best settings in the game, and that is steering camera rotation. And again, as I've done before, I put it on 75%. I actually just didn't activate it though, so we are going to activate it, and now we should be able to drive much better. Anyways, as I was saying before, just because I'm not going to be playing the game super duper much, I just want to actually be able to progress through the game without having to worry about super technical things such as progression and money and trucks, and I really just want to play it as a way to have fun. Now personally, I would probably use it if I was playing on my own time, just because I am recording and I can't do too many videos, and not that it's the only videos I'll be uploading. I do have to sort of make it a little easier on myself to do. Nonetheless, we are already on the highway, and at the maxed out speed we can go very quickly because the cargo is light. Additionally, it is a... Hey, let me go over, man. It is a 5-hour trip, which is going to take quite a bit of time, and it seems that we have also gotten new mail. So I would like to check on what it is. And this is actually a company telling me that if I have my own vehicle, I can take better jobs. But again, because the bank will not give me money, that's not going to be a choice. It is now time to turn on cruise control and chill. Less than halfway into our trip, we can already see we have encountered our first toll booth, which is pretty cool, and I think it should be fine as our employer will cover the costs. And by the way, I'm even more confused about what was going on yesterday, where I was getting over 10 miles per gallon. Now I'm getting 9.5 right now, and we're a pretty fair amount into the trip. And now we're down to 9, and that is while hauling only 2 tons. Now it is an older truck, so that might be accounted for, but I mean, it really does just go to show how well the man does on fuel economy. And there is yet another toll booth ahead of us. And that is an expensive toll at 44 euros. A little more than halfway into our drive, we have discovered a new city, I believe in France, of Reims. Now it has started raining and gotten a little harder to see what's going on, so we are going to take our speed a little slower. And the high congestion from these toll booths are not helping. It is very hard to see and pretty dangerous, but we should be able to make it through just fine. And 32 euros is pretty crazy to get through a toll. Now I know the economy is very inflated in the base game and without the mod I was using before, but I still think that's pretty crazy. Well, that's quite a beautiful sunset, but something I do want to mention is that I am never coming back to France in this game again, especially when I own my own truck. Into the tunnel, we've discovered Paris, and the reason that I don't like France right now for delivering cargo is just because there are so many toll booths, and I think that was 120 euros to get through there, which on a job, even if it is my own truck, where I would make more, that is still a large amount of money to be taken away. Once again, there is a roundabout, but luckily I can do this because it's a one-lane roundabout. Luckily there's no people there, and we just take the first exit right into a traffic light. And now we are into the inner streets of Paris, making our way to our delivery spot with our water tank. What was that car's problem? Why did it just do that? You crazy, man. Here's the upcoming delivery spot. And we gotta slow down, turn our signal on, and swing it a little wide because I think these things sticking out of the sidewalk are called like ballots, routes, I don't remember. Anyways, we are going to take the difficult delivery parking choice. And there we go, we have finished our job and we will be making over $6,000. And now we are a level 2 driver, which means that now we are going to unlock fragile cargo so that we can finally transport vaccines. So now we'll apply all. And once again, we have gotten another email from our dispatcher, and because I do have the special transport DLC, I will be able to do special transport. So the bank will not give me a dime, and why not try to do one of those special transports now? This will bring us $10,000, and now we get a good look at our truck and setup. Now, this is apparently what they are calling the high-tech device on our truck. Look at me in the cab, looking pretty as ever. Well, I appreciate all the camera angles of our truck, and I appreciate this fella checking on the brakes of this vehicle, but I really think we should get going. But hey, if they want to show us more camera angles, let them. Attention! You're about to haul a special transport cargo. There are 2 escort vehicles which will lead you. Please be careful and follow their lead and suggestion notification. Special transports like this don't stop on a red signal and have right-of-way in most situations. During these deliveries, checkpoints are made more often to save your current progress. Pay extra attention to the following. Avoid any possible conflict with the escort vehicle and keep the cargo between them. Do not drive out of the estimated route, nor to filling stations, rest stops, etc. Obey speed limitations, which will be ensured by the front escort vehicle. Watch out for overtaking traffic and other drivers on the road. Change lane maneuver. And then the change lane maneuver is shown below in a little diagram. And if we do not follow these rules, our special transport mission may fail. Now that we're into our serious business, it is time to adjust our seats once more because we still do not own a truck because the bank still does not like me. We will also probably fix the steering wheel. We'll turn on the truck and turn our headlights on along with our windshield wipers to max. And it is now turning to get into first gear and start going. Now we are going to be very slow and very wide, so we do have to be careful here. Now I promise I'll spend the rest of the time inside the cab unless something catastrophic happens. I'm not sure if this is a tooltip from the special transport or if this is just a general notification to activate my high beams. Nonetheless, I do have to be careful and take this corner wide. I'd also just like to mention, for the record, I am flooring the pedal right now and we are hardly accelerating on a relatively flat surface. And here comes the tricky part of a hill, which we'll have to see if we'll actually be able to make it up. Now, I am just going to do this tooltip. I know I said I wouldn't go out of the first-person camera, but I don't want that pop-up in the corner of my screen the whole time. And now we are heading downhill, right into an intersection. So we are going to use the engine brake and slow down so our brakes don't go away. And now we have to make our very wide turn. And it seems we've made it through just fine. Now I'm not sure what's going on with my camera right now, so I am going to check on it. It was a little bit of an issue, but that should be fixed now. Now, the Special Transports DLC is a DLC I got closer towards when I stopped playing the game, and also it's not something I particularly enjoyed because I liked using my own trailer. And although this has its own sort of extra challenge, I think there is something to be said that using your own trailer is a little difficult too, where you have to load it, unload it, and deal with getting cargoes that you can actually get in that trailer. With that said though, this is a very cool DLC, and I'd recommend it as one of the DLCs that you should get for the game if you're looking to get one. So the point of me saying that is to say that I haven't used this much, so I'm not very great at it. And especially with the rain where I am unable to see my mirrors, it's going to be a very fun adventure. And there is this bus fella probably about to get in my way. And I have somehow hit the bus with my trailer, but luckily I did not get fined for that. But again, it did do damage to my trailer, which is never good. We are gonna slip the engine brake on so that we aren't going too fast around this corner, and so that we do not tip over. And up here there appears to be a van for something I'm not sure of. It seems to be something broadcasting related. Nonetheless, we are going to again try to stay in our lane and focus on the job. There is another upcoming truck, so we are going to head to the side of the road. I'm also realizing I should probably have this menu up so that when I get a tooltip I can see it. And again, I managed to hit that car even though I think I swung it really wide, but I guess we will have to just be a little more careful. And now we can actually deactivate our wipers because there is no more rain, at least coming down. And over here we seem to have another roadblock in place, which is pretty nice as it will make my life much easier. And over here we're heading back uphill and on a relatively sharp curve for what we're hauling, so we will be careful and hope that no more vehicles show up along the way. Now I keep hearing some sort of notification beep or buzz. I still just don't see anything anywhere. It's not on that screen and it's also not on this screen, which I'm not too sure then because there's nothing as far as UI that I see either. And these guardrails over here are going to make my life very difficult, especially if another car shows up. And my brakes are pretty much ineffective against a downhill way with this car. Also, luckily, these vehicles have shown up after the turn, so we can just hang far to the right. And this car over here is going to throw a wrench in our plans. Now, it's a police officer, but you're in my way, dude. That's right, get past me. Now we can reaccelerate and make our way past. And lucky for me, we are opening up to a larger road with lots and lots of space for me. But those dreams of having space have been shut down, as it is back towards a small and narrow road. And of course we have another vehicle coming our way, which is going to be a bit of an issue, especially if our cargo is hitting the guardrail. And I think now I am finally getting a hang of it while taking wider turns, even when there are cars in the way. Plus, this has to be like the 4th or 5th fire truck I've seen along my path. Now, I did just get brake checked by my own guy for no reason because he stopped driving and was about to cause a crash, which now makes it much more difficult to get up this hill, so that is going to take a while to get back up to speed again. Well, loads and loads of progress have been made on this trip to the point where we have less than an hour to arrival. And honestly, I thought this was going to take much longer. And be much more difficult too, but once I've gotten the hang of it, it's been pretty easy. The most difficult part is this fella in front of me insisting on brake checking me constantly. And I mean, I know I'm going a little over the speed limit, but I think it should be fine. Nonetheless, I do have 5% trailer damage and somehow 1% truck damage. I think that might have actually just been wear, which would make sense because we're hauling heavy, and I did not see a notification for damage to the truck. The trailer, on the other hand, though, I do admit I did collide with quite a few vehicles throughout this course, but I mean, it's not really my fault because they weren't pulling over, and otherwise I would have to go into a wall. So they should have learned their lesson, and they should never try to get in front of a special delivery truck ever again. You know me, just your friendly neighborhood guy named Bob, correcting the NPCs in your favorite games. Look at this fella. He's recording stuff, and I think there was a guy on the side recording me going by. He must be really interested in trucks, because trucks are pretty cool, fellas, remember that. And I wish I could say around this bend is our destination, but it is not. But we have made twice as much progress since the last time I said how long it was since we were arriving. But just around this bend and then intersection, and okay, see, you saw that. This dude is just brake checking me, like, get out my way, man. I'll go into the curb to make sure there are plenty of space for the fellas in the other lane. And I'll do it again for this fella. Don't high beams. Oh, well, you know what? Maybe he's right. I should turn my high beams off. You know what? Maybe that's why those fellows were jerks. Again, though, there is just another pulled over van. For what reason? I don't know. But we're making it past that fella and almost making it onto a turn, which is probably going to be made a little more difficult because these cars are parked here. They couldn't have parked on the other side of the intersection. It is what it is, though. Shouldn't be too much trouble. Again, buddy, stop brake checking me. And are you enjoying your photo, sir? Yeah, what is the van doing? I'm gonna get fined for this because they're not in front. Wait, maybe I was supposed to go? Maybe not. No, I think I was supposed to go. Alright then, let's finish up this delivery and make $10,500. And there we go, with the job complete, we have another skill point which we can invest. And now I think I'd like to put that right back into fragile cargo. And once again, we have another email, which is from the bank, which is willing to help me grow, which goes much appreciated. So I think we'll head right into the bank and take out a 400, we'll go with 100,000, and then we'll grab an extra 50. And now we're gonna visit the man truck dealer, and now customize the configuration on this truck. What I'm gonna do is actually repay the 50,000 and take out another 100. And there we go, that is our dream truck completed and within our current budget, so we are going to confirm and purchase it now. We're seriously going to do the whole animation thing. I already had to watch one of the cargo and the trailer of our last heavy cargo job or special transport job. Really making me do it again, guys? For real? For real? Alright, there we go. Everything is done. That is, of course, after we finish adjusting our seats and whatnot. And there we go with everything locked and loaded and ready to go, and our sleep bar still low. Yet I have finished my rhyme to show that we are ready to take another job. And we have quite a few choices, whether it be an excavator bucket, huge tires, or some potted flowers, or really anything else, but it pays pretty bad. I think it would make sense to do the huge tires as they aren't really that huge and should be relatively manageable. So now what we'll do is head over there to pick up the delivery. And with our quick drive completed, we can now accept the freight. Here we go, we have to go through another whole animation. Some dude's vlogging for some reason, while these workers are working hard to make sure my cargo is secure. One of them are appreciated, the other isn't. Some dude's being interviewed with a comically large microphone, and it seems like the person that should be talking has the microphone pointed at the cameraman. Cameraman's important today, fellas. And again, thank you to this fella over here who's actually securing straps. Now, with that said, that's going to be the end of this video. We've gotten a lot done. We've acquired a new truck, completed 2 jobs, and a special cargo transport too. Anyways, that's the end of this video. I really appreciate you watching, and if you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know in the comments. In the meantime, have yourself a great day.